Morning. I'm going to share the poker face experiment. I'm going to share my screen here. The setup for the poker face is to test the effect of personality attributes, personality traits like neuroticism, extroversion, agreeableness, on students who are on your poker face. So we have two students who will sit facing each other. They have to maintain eye contact. They cannot smile. And you have a timekeeper, a third student who's keeping time. And the timekeeper will say start, and then have a timer on their phone. And then the two students are facing each other. And then the first, as soon as one of them breaks their poker face, like smiles or laughs, then the timekeeper stops it. So that's what we're timing, is the time to break the poker face in seconds. Like 11 seconds, 9 seconds. So if your class is doing, let's say your class is doing neuroticism, what I do is I list all the students' names, and then I ask them to report their neuroticism score, and then I order them. So you can tell these are, initially they were, when you start, initially they're not colored like this. And they would be sorted by their first name or last name. So, Adana, Agri, Malia. So you would just go down the list and put in their scores. And then once you have their scores, you can sort them by their neuroticism score, from largest to smallest, or smallest to largest, either way. And then and then I divide them into two groups. So you can see here I have 21 students. So I'm going to take 10 of them, the top 10. And this will be my high neuroticism group. And then I'll take the bottom 10. So there are actually 11 of these students, but I'll just take 10 of them. So this is my low group. And then I'll give them an ID. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one, actually, I would just be like my timekeeper. I would usually have the middle person be my timekeeper if I have an odd number. And then 8, 9, 10, like this. So now I have 10 people in my high neuroticism group, and I have 10 people in my low neuroticism group. And I'm going to have 3 treatment groups. So you can have 2 students, they are low and low, or high and high, or high and low. So you can see over here, I have the 3 treatment groups set up. Here's the low, and I'm going to do at least 5 or 6 replications, or trials. And then here I've got low and high, pairing two students, and then high and high. So this is the number of the replication. And then here I have to fill in, I have to pair them up, like low, 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 high, high, high. So I fill these out like randomly. So to fill these out, I have some random number generators over here. So here's the random number. Here's the number of students in each group. So in the low, low, now I have 10 students in each, 10, 10 and low, and I have, so for low, low, I have 10 students in low, and then for low, 10 and high 10. Now, say I had like 10 high and 11 low, then I could put, 11 in the lows, and then 10 for the highs. But anyways, what this does is these are random numbers between 0 and 1. And this is the number of students in each group, in the low and the high group. And when you multiply these, if you multiply them and take and round up, then you get a random number between 1 and this number. So a random number between 1 and 10. So for high, high, this would give me two numbers between, like two high numbers. Here's a low number and a high number. Here's a low number and a low number. So to fill this out in class, I just show them this, and then I'll say, okay, for low, low, we have 7 and 6. So 7, 7, and 6. And as soon as you enter these numbers, then these random numbers calculate again, and then you just take the next pair. So here's 4 and 10. Here's 3 and 5. 3 and 8. It's fine if it replicates. 3 and 1. And here, like 3 is doing it several times, and other students may not have a chance, so you might just arbitrarily, 2. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 hasn't done it. You can just put 9 to make sure everybody has a chance. Now for low and high, we have 4 and 3, 8 and 3, 2 and 1, 10 and 10. You can't have them do it with themselves, so you can just choose a different one. 6 and 1, 6 and 1 again, 4 and 8. Okay, so and then you get the idea. Here for high, high, we have 6 and 5, 8 and 4, 1 and 6. So I just populate this so that they see how how we're choosing random numbers. So here, this, and if you want to do a 6th one, here, one more, 71. Okay, so now we've got 6 entries. This, you don't need this. So now you clear this out, and then you'll just go through each of these. So you'll get the low 7 and low 6. So here, this is the low group. Low 7 is, if you want to put this on the other side, 7. Okay, so low 7 and low 6. That's low 6 and 7 is Artur and Camilla. So you would get them, do their experiment, how many seconds, and then go down the list. 410, 410, 3 and 5, 2 and 8. These are all in the low group, right? And then the low high group here, low 4 and high 3. That's low 4 is Diana, and high 3 is also Diana. 2 different Dianas. And then low 8 and high 3. That's low 8 is Aidana. Let's see. Oops. Aidana. Idana and high 3 is, yeah, so these ones are mixed between low and high. And then the high, these are both all from the high group. So high 6 and high 5, that's Aliyah and Asyam. Asyel and Adiyama is 8 and 4, right? So you just go through these. And then when you're done, then over here I have the average times for each of these groups treatments, the low, high, and high. Just make sure that these are, so here, you know, I had 5 treatments before, but now I have 6. So make sure that this is, right, averages those 6. And then here, this is, has those 6, right, is averaging those times, and then this one is averaging these 6 times. So if you, you know, I'm sorry, and then I just made a quick chart here. It's easy to, you can make it again. So you just grab those 8 cells and insert the table. And then you have the low, high, sorry, low, high, yeah. And then as you fill this in, like it actually populates in real time. So you can see. Right, so that's that one. And now if you do the low highs, 6, 9, you know, 40, 55, 72, right? And then maybe these are high as well. Okay, so get these, and then you can add, if you want, you can add error bars, like percentage error bars or standard error. And in this case, you could see, you know, the low group is definitely different than the low high and high group. And then when you get these results, like you can talk about them. So let me show you the results from past experiments. I'm just going to delete this. I don't want to save these changes. Let me. So these are my original findings. So sections 1, 2, and 3 from last semester, they did neuroticism, and they found that low neuroticism is lower, high neuroticism is higher. And this low high is interesting. So you can discuss this result because, you know, when you pair like a low neuroticism person paired with another low neuroticism person breaks very quickly, so poker face, but the high neuroticism actually lasts longer, and then 2 high neuroticisms last longer. So this middle one is kind of interesting. It means that, you know, being low neuroticism is not enough to break quickly. You have to be paired with another low neuroticism person. So I like this experiment because, first of all, it demonstrates, you know, how to set up an experiment, how to set up the how to randomize people into treatment groups. But this particular setup, the 3 treatment groups are actually pairs of personalities, and so you get a chance to look at interactions between personalities, not just you know, the effect of personality on one individual. So neuroticism really reflects that. And if you're thinking that this is a random result, this semester, again, a different section also did neuroticism, and let me show you. So this is section 1 from last year, section 6 from this year, almost exactly the same result. So with neuroticism, we've replicated the result, and it's pretty consistent between these 2 classes, which is very interesting. So I since I have this data, like I'm showing them like last year's results as well. And the students are usually pretty impressed by this. I was impressed too that we could actually replicate this result. Last year we also did extroversion. Extroversion had maybe the most extreme result. So in extroversion, we have the high extrovert and the low extrovert. If you put two extroverts together, they crack very quickly. Two introverts together, can never crack. And then if you pair an introvert and an extrovert, the extrovert can last a little bit longer, but still they will crack pretty quickly. So again, you get this kind of interaction effect between the two different personality types, which is two different levels of extroversion. This is interesting. I would really like to replicate this result with extroversion. And the students really liked, it was just such an extreme difference between the two extroverts and introverts. So I think so far we've found the most significant findings with neuroticism and extroversion. We've also done agreeableness, not very significant, nothing significant. We also did conscientiousness, not significant. And yesterday we did openness. And openness does have significant findings. It's kind of like extroversion. The two highly open people crack faster than two less open people, but then you still have this interaction effect. It's pretty much like the extroversion finding. So I'd like to replicate the openness one as well. So you can take these findings and show what other classes have done. You can ask them I usually ask them do you want to replicate one that we've already done, or do you want to try a new one? Some classes wanted to replicate, and that's actually, I think it's more interesting when they replicate and find a similar result as an earlier class. Sometimes the null result is they're they're kind of bummed out, conscientiousness and agreeableness, nothing significant. So they have a better time when there's a positive result. So definitely try neuroticism, extroversion, or openness. It's my recommendation. But let me know if you have any questions about how to use the graphs, and have fun with it.